This is Unit 1, Week 3, Question 6. What went into the writing of the Declaration of Independence? All right, first students, there's only one date you're required to know in my class, well, two of them. Your birthday and the 4th of July. This is it, the big date, the symbolic. When was this finally approved, ratified, and voted on was July 4th, 1776. Anyways, June 7th, Richard Henry Lee in Philadelphia introduces this, the Second Continental Congress, a motion to declare independence. It's approved and they set up a committee to draft this. The committee is 5 folks. Robert Livingston, Thomas Jefferson, and I always forget, but I'll look it up to make sure I don't botch. Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Roger Sherman, Robert Livingston, and Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson wrote the main draft. He's the flowery, elegant writer, and kind of freaky looking, really tall, red-headed dude. What's the purpose of it? It's to officially set out the reasons why the U.S. is declaring itself an independent country. Philosophically, it's radical, extreme. Why? It's based on an entire new thing. The social contract theory of John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. The notion that it's got 5 parts. First, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people. He says essentially, when in history you're going to do something, you got to state your reasons. 2, the principle. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. So essentially, all people are equal. All people get rights. If those rights are taken away, here's the radical part. It's their duty to rise up and grab those rights back, because governments come from the people. Governments come the consent of the governed. Even if you got a dictator, who put the dictator in power? The people who are like, yes, sir, we no complain, sir. They are empowering the dictator to run affairs. So government's power, whether it be a democracy or a dictatorship, comes from the people. They sign a social contract, or they agree to live under this compact agreement that all of us together are letting this guy rule us, or we're electing this person. So, if you're going to get divorced, you need to have a reason. If you get a reason, then you can act on your own. But you need to prove that's the case. So there are 33 complaints. He has done this. He has done that. The he being the king, George III. And that's where they're listing everything from quartering armed bodies of soldiers amongst us, the Quartering Act. Not letting us trade with any country that's not English, the Navigation Acts. For imposing taxes upon us without our consent, taxation without representation. All of those issues that were the colonial arguments against the British are suddenly their arguments for why they should be independent. And then, after this long list, is the 4th section. We therefore, the citizens, declare ourselves independence and declare these colonies of and ought right to be free and independent states, entitled to do all the things that free and independent states do: conduct wars, negotiate treaties. And they also put this, they mentioned this thing called the United, small u, not capitalized, United States of America. First time that term shows up. The way it's written, it doesn't look like it's a country. It's a united, small adjective, states, different states or colonies, coming together for common defense. It's not clear that they're going to be one country. That's a much later thing. Never really solved even until the Civil War, whether the states or the nation are really the central powers. Anyways, the Declaration of Independence becomes a huge model for all the people around the globe who want to model their movement for independence on this statement of principles. And there are endless declarations of independence that other countries, committees, or groups write. Even my students annoyed in my class that they weren't given certain rights and permission. I think it was to freely go to the bathroom when they want and eat M&Ms at their own time and of their own choice and place. And signed a modeled it on the same thing. It's been inspiration for groups for hundreds of years. It's also where we get the phrase, put your John Hancock here. Because John Hancock signed the Declaration of Independence with a humongous signature. Essentially saying, I wanted the king to be able to read it without his glasses. I don't know if that's myth or not. But even here you've got the joke, John Hancock is a juvenile delinquent. All the other students are writing their graffiti small. His is big. But these guys are, it's a big deal to sign this thing. They're committing treason. They're essentially saying, we're no longer English and we're willing to risk our lives. Franklin famously said, we must all hang together or we will all certainly hang separately. They're stating that it's not just a declaration of independence, it's a declaration of war. Britain didn't receive this and go, oh, we get it. They've been wanting independence. No, they get this and like, how dare they? And let's send over a much larger navy, complete military units, and launch what would be a massive civil war. It would be called that if Britain had won, but since the colonists won, it's a revolution for independence. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for joining the Happy House of History, and so long from some dude in a Hawaiian shirt.